Hello and welcome to Rando Rob. Each week on Rando Rob, I'll be showing and discussing one item from my large collection of collections. New shows appear every Monday, and throughout the week, I'll be adding older episodes of Rando Rob that were previously only available to my Patreon subscribers. You can watch episodes of Rando Rob on YouTube at youtube.com/Rob O'Hara. Just look for the Rando Rob playlist. Audio versions of the show are available on my website at podcast.robohara.com or through iTunes. Just search for Rando Rob. Thanks for watching or listening, and I hope you enjoy this vintage episode of Rando Rob. Up here for Rando Rob, you can see whenever you see red and blue lightsabers, there's really only one franchise that could be. I have spent the past 40 plus years, 45 years, collecting and acquiring Star Wars items. So I have a pretty sizable Star Wars collection. I would like to get back at some point, finishing up my shelves back there. That's really about somewhere between a fifth and a sixth of my collection. What I'm going to have to do is just start bringing things in and then making decisions. Things that stay. Things that there's not room for are going to have to go out the door. But this is something that I have on my shelves, but it's actually not on those shelves. It's on these shelves, which is the collection of books and software and CDs and DVDs. Now, I have pared down my collection of most of those things. Like, I gave away all my DVDs. I don't own any DVDs anymore. But when I say that, I do have one shelf full of DVDs. And they are either DVDs that were autographed or DVDs that were one of a kind, things that I just, for one reason or another, didn't like. Just owning the movie digitally wasn't enough for me. There's some sentimentality or some connection to the actual physical item. So I do have a few DVDs, and all of my CDs have been in storage for at least 5 years. I don't know that I've listened to a physical CD in probably 10 years. But I do still have all of them out in my garage. But I do have a couple of CDs here in my room. And this is one of the very few CDs that I have in here. This is the collector's Star Wars, it says Star Wars Trilogy soundtrack collection. So this is these CDs. If you just take a look right here, the original soundtrack anthology, and then it says 4 CD set. Now, this was released in 1993, which means it's before the release of the special edition Star Wars movies, which means you got your Ewoks on here, but you don't have whatever that ridiculous song. You have the celebratory Ewok nub nub song at the end, but you don't have whatever the new music that they put in there. You also don't have the music that got replaced by Cy Snoodles and Max Rebo's original song in Jabba's Palace on Return of the Jedi. And there's a few other small musical differences, but this is the original trilogy. So you can see here on the back, you've got Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then the 4th CD says outtakes and previously unreleased music from the 3 movies. And there's some cool artwork there, and cool artwork is kind of the theme of this box set. Now you can see there is a price tag there, and it is basically has been ripped off. But the price of this was $20. I got this from a thrift store when I moved to Spokane, Washington. I was had just changed jobs when I went up there. I didn't have kids, and so I had a little bit of disposable income, and a lot of that money I was pouring into building my CD collection. And so when I saw this, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I was buying CDs, and so this is CDs and this is Star Wars. I'm going to open this up and show you. First of all, what I want to show you is this booklet. This is it's a heavy duty, it's a very thick, glossy booklet that's included. And what's in here are I'm just opening a random page and holding it up here. But bits about, let's see if that's that's kind of a good one. This would be a little bit easier to show, but you can see there are just a little paragraph about every song that's on every CD. It tells you about the scene, tells you what's happening in the scene, if there's any behind the scenes information about the song. Of course, there's a long introduction here at the opening, in the opening, and there is some information, some things about John Williams and stuff. So really fantastic. There's a lot of, if you're a Star Wars fan, you've seen this stuff, but there's a lot of artwork that's not like directly from the movies, but more like, different movie posters and things like that. So again, a lot of cool artwork in this thing. Makes it really fun if you're a Star Wars fan to go through. Then you have all these CDs. Let me pull one up here. There are 4 CDs in the box. Let me find... this is the Star Wars one here. So they all look very similar. And when you pick them up, you'll notice it just looks like it's black. And then on the very bottom, it says Star Wars Trilogy. It has other information here. But if you look at it, there's a... kind of hard to see, maybe with the glitter. Maybe I'll take it out of this case. But there's kind of like this is Star Wars. And it has it's like a glossy black and then a matte black. That may not even help, but there you go. You can see there where it says Star Wars. And then each one is like that. Let me slide that back in. And then they all have, retro artwork and things like that. So it doesn't just look like just all the stuff you're used to, I think this one's Empire Strikes Back. And, it says disc 2. And then again, when we look at the artwork, they're just kind of cool, This is the Empire Strikes Back one, and you can see like how many tracks. Boy, just bad glare in here. But how many tracks there are. So there's a lot of music. So if you like soundtrack music and you like Star Wars, then this is a match made in heaven. The box has 2 CDs, as you can see here, and then they're 2 layers deep. Hopefully this doesn't come flying out. So there's another CD below each one of those. And then this book sits on top. And then this little cardboard cover goes over the top. I don't have a specific, almost everything that I've bought for Star Wars or a lot of the collectibles, I know the story behind them. And so my story, of course, with this one is that it came from a thrift store, but I don't know any story more than that. Now, I do remember seeing this in Best Buy when I worked at Best Buy. And I don't remember how much it retailed for, but it was way more than $20. I can tell you that. So I like Star Wars, but I didn't like the soundtrack music enough to really want to purchase that. But when I saw it in a thrift store and on, for only $20, I thought, well, that's much more affordable. I can't say that I've listened to this a million times. I've probably listened to it a few times. I listened to it enough times to rip these to MP3s, and I'm sure they're all on my server. But I don't listen to a lot of soundtracks, not soundtracks, but like music scores. I do occasionally, but it's not my go-to genre, so to speak. And so, but it's Star Wars, and plus it's in this really cool box, and it sits right over there on a Star Wars shelf. Now, there are some things on the Star Wars shelf that I think are going to have to go. I can tell you that many years ago, I bought a lot, I think off of eBay, and I have an entire, it's like 20 issues or something of TV Guide, and they were all like the same issue. It was around the time that Phantom Menace was released, but they have different covers for different Phantom Menace. So there's like a Queen Amidala cover and a Jar Jar Binks cover and stuff like that. And by the time you get to Phantom Menace and stuff like that, I just don't have the nostalgic connection to the prequels. So as I start to thin things out, stuff like that is probably what will go. But I can tell you that no matter what happens, this thing is going to stay. This is I just like it. I like. Of course, being on a shelf like this, it doesn't take up a lot of space, but I just like having it, And again, you could go through the book in there and look at that artwork and read some of the little stuff about the music and stuff. And I always like behind the scenes of kind of things. So I got different cheap glasses. I only buy cheap reader glasses, and these, boy, I'm just looking at the thing now. These have really thick frames. These make me look really smart and nerdy. I should probably wear two. Wear a pair on top of another pair. Maybe multiply the effects. So anyway, I'll be around. I will be around. Talk to you guys soon.